World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where we do what we do, which is help you get to that next level. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I want to thank you, as always, for making the time to learn something that you probably thought you probably needed to know. Learning something that is going to help you get to, as I said, that next level. And we are grateful for you. Thank you for making the time. I'm going to just make it short and sweet to the point. We are here to help you. We want to help you get financially fit, leverage your score, using that credit, using what you have already in your midst, in your hands, helping you get to that next level. If you want it, my job is just to be the information source, providing it to you. And after I provide it to you, you have to put something in action. You have to then make it work. I'm here on Soul City Network, which Soul City is fantastic. And I think everyone should know how great this network is and what it does for our community. And I always got to give my best, dearest friend, Dr. Yana B, her props as well. You have to tune into her show, Access Wealth Nations. I'm saying it before the show even starts. I'm going to say it again after the show is concluded. Access Wealth Nation. I'm the credit guy. I'm someone who really knows that credit space, but there's another expert in this space as well, and that's Dr. Yana B, and she knows exactly what our community needs. I'm just a little small component to a much larger element, and again, I'm going to always give her praise. I'm going to always give her that just due, because she's helped me understand what I need to do to make sure that we are getting you that information. So I'm very grateful. So with that being said, what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about empowering African American wealth, unraveling the credit conundrum. We started this last week, and we're going to dive back into it this week. Make sure that we wrap it up with making sure, again, there are elements and pieces that came in play that put us where we are today. And some of us we just refuse. We refuse to get out of our own way. But with this understanding, with the way that I'm bringing it to you, with the way that I'm hoping that you're grasping it, and please keep coming back, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to understand even more and more and more about it. Went in and did what we needed to do to be able to give you this information now. You should want it. You should want it. There's just no getting around it. You should want it. It's going to help you. It's going to help the generations that come after you. We can't go back in time and make up that lost time, but we can definitely focus on what we have to do now. All right. So always giving that shout out to the creator. For him, none of this would be possible. And I'm always so grateful and humble to be able to do what I do. So with that being said, let's dive on into that material. Let's put that. And understanding factors, overcoming challenges, and nurturing economic empowerment. That's what we're really going to be focusing on. This is it might even go into a third day. So I'm a hope that we can wrap this up today. But if not, hey, I'll take it into a 3-week session. Just that brings you back, right? I'm hoping that you are enjoying it. I'm hoping that whatever content that you need, you have the understanding that. Send it in that chat. So we got multiple chats here. We're on Facebook, We got multiple chats here. We're on YouTube. Again, please, we're on every channel that you can possibly think of that's already connected with Soul City. So we're doing our thing. Definitely doing our thing. All right. So just those slides, they should be. All right. So there we are. So as I said, empowering African Americans' wealth, unraveling the credit conundrum. We're just going to go really quick over those first 12 slides that we went over last week, and then we're going to continue it on. And as I said, if we have to go into another week of this, as long as you're getting, again, the importance of what we now have to do, I was just explaining it to, I'm explaining it to everybody. We have gradually moved from $100,000 economies to $1 million economies to $1 billion economies to now $1 trillion economies. So that means there's a lot of resources out there. And the only way we're going to continuously keep missing out is if we don't understand these factors that we have to now do. The past is the past. Everybody, I can even help you get through what you've already done to make you really understand that it's not your fault. And as long as you keep carrying the baggage of what you think is your fault, you're going to constantly miss out on now that slow progression that we're now in. But it can be a lot faster. And all you have to do is decide to, hey, you know what? I'm going to own up to mine, and then I'm going to get that assistance and that help for the rest. All right, so here's the topics that we're going to be covering: the understanding of credit, dissecting the credit disparities, historical content, economic empowerment initiatives, overcoming barriers, investing in community wealth, supporting Black-owned businesses. Clearly, we're going to talk about the policies and advocacy, conclusion, Q&A, and then contact information. And it's all about you. It's all about you. These are free shows. These are shows to do what we want them really to do, to get those who really are serious about making that next move. Free. We're not looking for anything in return. If you happen to become a client, that'd be awesome. But if you want to take this on your own and do it for yourself with the assistance of, by all means. But you got to remember, we are a business. And we're going to do what a business needs to do, but we're going to do it with the efficacy of the highest of standards. It's not about my bottom line. It's about your bottom line. And it will always be about your bottom line. All right. So again, just a short story, unraveling the credit conundrum, a path to empowerment for African-American communities. And there is a lot of things that we can do. And I'm not going to go over all of this in the vast tapestry because I did this last week. If you really want to find out even more about this, go back to the last week's show, get caught up, but let's continue to move this party forward. In the vast tapestry of American society, the intricacy threads of wealth and opportunity weaves a complex narrative. Yet amidst the mosaic of prosperity, a stark reality persists. African-American communities consistently lag behind in measures of economic empowerment, notably reflecting the low credit scores compared to our counterparts. The phenomenon is not merely a statistical aberration, but a reflection of systemic disparities ingrained in the fabric of our society. I'm going to leave it right there because this is so important that you understand. It's ingrained in the fabric of our society. So we have to unteach ourselves the things that we have learned that we thought was the right pathway to, again, financial understanding. And there's a lot of pathways that you can take to other understandings. But for this particular space, the financial space, you got to understand that systemic from our upbringing. And all we're attempting to do now is to fill that gap, to make sure that you understand what you have to do to overcome whatever might be ingrained to undo. That's all it is. That's all we're doing. But definitely go back to last week's show, take a look at that intro that I did that has the short story, and I'm sure you're going to get a great bit of information out of it. All right, so brief overview of the presentation. We're going to highlight the significance of wealth building and credit empowerment in African American communities. All right, so just real quick again, this is all part of last week's show, but I'm going to skip to the 12th slide that I was on last week so that we can always, as I said, move this forward. But here's some important pieces that you're going to need to know. Inform, right? Have to be informed. The primary objective could be to inform the audience about the particular topic, concepts, or issues. We're going to keep you informed, and that's what's important about what we do here. We're going to educate. The presentation may aim to educate the audience on specific skills, techniques, or best practices relevant to the topic at hand. The topic at hand is credit. It's to understand how you are in these circumstances and what you're going to have to do to get out of these circumstances. Before we can even dive into that part, you got to know what brought you into these things. And there are elements, there are entities out there that are banking on our ignorance. Sorry to have to put it out there like that, but they're banking. They're banking. And you, our public, have said on multiple shows thus far that we can do what we need to do. We have done this before. And the reason why we're in where we are is because we refuse to repeat history. That's the type of history that you want to repeat. That one. We've done it before. And we can do it again now that we're in trillion-dollar economies. When we did it the first time, we were only looking at $100,000 economies. Individuals were still becoming millionaires, but think about that. Think about that. Maggie Lena Walker, African American, Durham, North Carolina. First bank, first female to own a bank, first female. It's always been, for me, the decade of the woman, but just to think about that, a woman did that back in the 1700s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm hoping I'm getting that all right. If not, I will definitely Google it and make sure I know again what time frame that was. But still, regardless, it's 2024. With all this wealth that's out there, we can do phenomenal things. All right, we may persuade you a little bit. Another objective might be to persuade the audience to adapt a particular viewpoint, strategy, or course of action. You got to have some movement that's going to help you get to where you need to go. So yeah, we might have to tell you, hey, you know what, put that down. Pick up this, start doing this. But it's going to always be up to you. We're going to inspire you. The presentations can aim to inspire the audience by sharing motivational stories, explaining the examples of success and the vision for the future. We're going to engage with you, and now we need you to engage back with us. The important objective might be to actively engage the audience through the presentation. Hey, I'm asking you, send some questions. I know you have those questions. Send them on Facebook. Send them in YouTube. Send them in StreamYard. We know you have questions. We know you have questions, and it's okay. If you know me, send those questions. What I forgot to do earlier as well, did y'all send it out? Did y'all tell everybody that guy's back on again? Make sure that you send out the invites. Also, say, hey, he's on. He's on, and we need to tune in. All right? So, as I said, we're going to do as much as we possibly can to make sure that you are engaged. We're going to demonstrate, the presentation may aim to demonstrate a product, service, or solution, showcase its features, benefits, and potential applications. And always remember, we're not here selling any products. We're not here degrading or going after any company in a sense that you're a full-grown individual. You can make the decision fully on your own. We're going to always give you the resources in which we get so you can go back and you can check. And a lot of the places that I go to get my information, real simple. CFPB, Consumer Financial Protections Bureau. FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Right? There are 5 consumer protection acts that are out there. And you as a consumer should know. All I do is take the information, put it into bite-sized chunks, and I deliver it to you, the audience. It's not that hard to go find and do what I do. But as I said, in many occasions, I'll do the heavy lifting. What I need you to do is to execute. That's it. Execute. We're going to definitely entertain. I'm not a comedian. I'm not someone who tells jokes, but I'm someone who loves to have fun. So while not always, the primary objective of the presentation aims to entertain the audience by incorporating humor, storytelling, and multimedia elements. So we're going to do our best to help you. Wealth building and credit empowerment are fundamental to economic stability and upwards mobility. In African American communities, these aspects hold particularly significant due to historical and systemic boundaries. All right, we have to do better. So as I said, I'm going to move this along to slide number 12, where we left off. For those of you who missed the earlier presentation, that was last week, go back to last week's show. That's going to be on YouTube. It's going to equally be on Facebook. That's Soul City. Go back and you'll be able to catch up while you're getting now the new information from today. So thank you in advance. All right, we're going to start it right here. Historical context. So what caused all of this for us? So we're going to explore historical context such as redlining, predatory lending, systemic discrimination that has hindered wealth accumulation and creditworthiness in African American communities. You got to know your history, because in this particular situation, our history is a mystery. Right? Several systemic and historical factors contribute to the lower credit scores among African American in the United States. Historical economic disadvantages. African Americans have faced centuries of systemic economic oppression, including slavery, segregation, and discrimination leading lending practices. These historical injustices have limited their access to, our access to wealth building, opportunities in finance resources, leading to lower intergenerational wealth and economic disparities. So we've had some situations that if we continue to keep allowing, guess what's going to happen? It's going to keep going in that manner. Employment discrimination. Don't have to do I need to read all of that? We already know African Americans has historically faced discrimination in employment opportunities. Why? Not necessarily saying it was only credit related. There's a multitude of issues, but think about it today. Who wants to hire someone that can't manage their own money? All right. It's not even about you not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You have to remember that there were some elements that prevented you from. We can talk about housing discrimination. Redlining and discriminatory lending practices have restricted African American access to home ownership and affordable housing. And equally tying into that credit piece. But you know that there was these situations, if you never heard of redlining, or if you never knew that there was, which I'm sure you have. But what this is also equally doing is empowering you to talk to those in your family to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to let our kids grow up in the same manner that we did. All right. Education disparities. I am a teacher. For the last 10 years, I've been teaching in Yonkers Public Schools, and I am so grateful to this opportunity. So grateful. Prior to that, I was in corporate America doing the thing that I do best, which is service, giving that service. Prior to that, I was a military veteran. Not veteran, but I was in the military, and I served for the United States Army. Loved every bit of what I just explained and what I'm doing currently. Loved it. Didn't really understand it at first, of course, because they're all new. Didn't think that I was going to love it, but I enjoyed every bit of it. And I'm even enjoying now this piece of being able to give back, being able to allow myself to give back. And I've said it many times. There's been some hardships that I myself had to deal with. Reading is not one of my specialties, as you can clearly see. I grew up with dyslexia, but I've overcome. I used to break down in a whole cold sweat thinking about reading something in front of somebody. Now, I'm all about progress. I'm all about taking on those challenges. And this monumental challenge of dealing with credit and finances, holy cow, is it crazy. But guess what? It's been a labor of love. And I've been doing it for about 20 plus. And every client that I've helped has always said nothing but the greatest things. And it took some time to get there. Every person that I've come in contact with will always tell you he's a genuine, sincere person who only wants the best. And my students, all I can say, hopefully they turn out to be great adults based off of what I'm able to give them as far as the knowledge and the understanding. All right, so we know about the educational disparities. Unequal access to quality education has perpetuated a socioeconomic disparity among African Americans. Limited educational opportunities can result in lower income levels and financial literacy, affecting individuals' ability to manage credit responsibly. And that's the big part about this, managing your credit responsibly so you don't prevent yourself from the opportunities that it's going to have. Credit is a building block. It's the only building tool that you truly, really have. Cash and debit, nice little give me this, give me that type of exchange. But for the most part, no. Credit is the only building tool that you should be using. And there's probably a bunch of individuals out there. Oh, I hate credit, hate credit, hate credit, hate credit. Well, love to sit down with you and you can maybe tell me why you hate credit. We can have a dialogue. Healthcare disparities. African Americans often face barriers to accessing quality healthcare. I mean, come on, really? We know all this stuff. All right, leading to higher rates of medical debt and financial instability. And once you tie all those things in together, you're slowly getting the picture. All right, criminal justice system inequities. African Americans are disproportionately impacted by the criminal justice system, facing higher rates of incarceration and legal fees. Limited access to financial services. So we're giving it to you. We're providing that what you're going to need free. There's a lot of these financial places out there. And as I said, I don't like to talk negative about anyone, but you got to be honest. There are some of these entities out there that literally are still culprits in the whole scheme of things. And we just have to now know who they are, who literally has our best interest at hand. And those who do not, we got to rightfully just dismiss them. And it's okay. It is perfectly fine. But we can clearly see that what we have been doing has not been working. It has not been working. I'm telling you just a small fraction of what has not been working. All right. African American communities have often had limited access to mainstream financial services. Mainstream financial services. Since Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, the president and the vice president, since they're talking about it right now, I think they were in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, guys, Erykah Badu has told everybody to call Tyrone. Maybe you should call Tyrone too. I'm going to always use that one. Always. I used to didn't like it when I was a child, but I'm going to use it every single time. And if Erykah, if you're listening, love to have you on the show. All right. So financial services such as affordable banking opportunities. How can you be a non-bankable, or what do they call it? Unbankable? How? Every person should be bankable. Every person. Every person. Maybe it's because you don't want to educate them to make them worthy of being bankable. Is that what you want? You want non-bankable individuals so they can go to these secondary markets that are out there that sprung up, that individuals are making millions or hundreds of millions or even billions, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Subprime loans is the guy who was going to bail Donald Trump out. This is not a politics show. It's about the money. It's always going to be about the money, but these things are interwoven. Yes, subprime loans made billions. The guy made billions of dollars. Off of whom probably? Who was the prey that always had to take these subprime loans? Yes, African-American communities. All right. So again, affordable banking opportunities and credit building resources. Has nothing to do with the fact, oh, well, you're this or you're that, and you should have met your obligations. You're absolutely right. Every single understanding that you get into, marriage, anything, it's all a relationship, and one should live up to their obligations, no question. But if you got roadblocks all the way through the whole thing, number one, you can always get divorced. Number two, you can get your marriage annulled if it's within something. But once you're locked into a credit obligation that's going to harm you almost for the rest of your life, yeah, I can get why we may walk away from some of these things, thinking that there's not going to be any repercussions, but there are damaging repercussions. We will not, at least while I'm alive, we will not saddle our kids with that type of an understanding. Absolutely not. No way, no how. All right. Predatory lending practices, including payday loans and high interest financial products, can trap individuals in cycles of debt, making it challenging to improve credit scores. And it should not be challenging. Should not. We got 3 entities out there that are also doing their best to prevent African-American communities, the working poor, the low income from these credit opportunities. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. I could go deep into their malfeasance, but again, got a bit of a show to do. But yes, they have not been our, shall we say, friends in this equation. All right, addressing the systemic inequalities require comprehensive policy reform aimed at dismantling structural barriers to economic opportunities, such as implementing fair lending practices. They've done that, but enforcing them is another thing. They've done it, and they do. There's an agency that I've said, CFPB, Consumer Financial Protections Bureau. They do a good job in doing what they do, which is suing them, collecting that money. But what happens after they collect that money from them? They go right back out and have even more of an abusive tone about themselves. So that's why they keep getting away with the same type of activity. If you or I were to be repeat abusers or whatever the situation may be that is obviously a negative, and you're doing it repeatedly, somebody would probably have to put you away, because that becomes a behavior and a habitual behavior. And in this particular situation here, it's a habitual abuse against those who, one, don't really understand because it's business, two, are always taken advantage of. I can go on and on and on with that list. So we have to now ask those agencies, these regulatory bodies, don't just hit them with a fine, put them out of business. Yes, they might be some a stock that somebody owns, that somebody, well, guess what? Then make them sell it. Just like you're doing with TikTok. Make the individuals in this country understand that you can't keep abusing citizens. And if you do, we're going to give you this one more opportunity. But Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and all of those banking and lending institutions, you can go to Congress, you can see the C-SPAN things. That again, how do I get as knowledgeable as I am? Well, I take the time and I investigate, I do what I need to do, and then I come out and I put it on the little box here, and you can watch me, and we do what we have to do. All right? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Expanding access to affordable healthcare and financial services. Additionally, increasing financial literacy and providing resources for credit counseling and debt management can empower individuals to improve their credit scores and achieve financial stability. That's all it is. Credit counseling, debt management, the things that we should have learned. Yes, it's nice that we might have followed grandma and grandpa. It's nice that we might have did the jars. It's nice that we might have did the envelopes. It's all nice that we did these things that got us to where we are, and it's fantastic. And for those of you who have the greatest of scores and you're doing the right thing, congratulations. Always continue to keep on that path. Make sure that you're sharing that with everybody in that household so that they do not find themselves in these difficult times. And I'm not saying that the times themselves are difficult. I'm a money guy. I'm someone who likes to understand what goes on when it comes to our money. And there is, by no stretch of the imagination, anything wrong with this economy. Nothing. Again, let me reiterate that. There is nothing wrong with this economy. Nothing. And for those of you who are believing whatever it is that you're believing, you need to, again, call Tyrone. Period. Nothing. Those of you who are out there spewing all this garbage about, oh, the economy sucks and this, so forth, and so on, trust me when I tell you. Give me 30 seconds. And I got a whole hour, but I'm not going to talk about that. But give me 30 seconds with you one-on-one. Oh, I will let you know, and it will not be a confrontation. Oh, no, it would be just like I'm doing right now, a nice conversation, letting you know you're missing out because you don't know what's really going on with your money. We can talk about that in a much later time. All right, there's a little wink for you. Okay, so again, providing resources for credit counseling, debt management can empower individuals to improve their credit scores and achieve financial stability. Certainly. Let's dive into each of the historical elements. Redlining, all right? Redlining began in 1930. Why do I need to say anything more? 1930, it is 2023, right? It's 2023. Whatever was going on in 1930 should not be going on in 2023. Then that means we haven't progressed. That means we either stayed stagnant or we regressed. It's just that simple. Through agencies like the Home Owners Loan Corporation and the Federal Housing Administration, implementing redlining policies, these policies systemically demanded mortgage loans, insurance, and other financial services to residents of predominantly African American households and other minority communities. So clearly, you think that was a good thing? I would doubt it, because how many of us are homeowners? You can choose to be a homeowner or you could choose to be a renter. That's completely up to you. But how many of us are? And you should know that owning is a better way of assets or gaining assets. Owning property, owning real estate, owning things, owning stocks, owning. That's where you have value in owning. Clearly, our wealth gap is huge between those who have and those who do not. Impact on wealth accumulation. Redlining prevented African Americans from purchasing home and obtaining favorable mortgage terms in certain neighborhoods. Need more need not be said. Anyone who wants these slides, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to email them to you. All right. Predatory lending. Predatory lending, referred to as practice of offering unfair, deceptive, and abusive loan terms, often targeting vulnerable borrowers, including African American and other minority groups. Didn't I just say something about subprime? That guy who bailed Donald Trump out was going to give him the 400 plus million, but ended up giving him 175 because he went to the courts. Again, not a politics show, but I'm so sorry. It's all intertwined. It's all, every bit of it. And more that you know how it's intertwined, the more you could probably reduce some of your stressors, because your financial piece is intertwined with your healthcare. It's intertwined with your academia. It's intertwined with your day-to-day transactions. So I got to give you a little bit of something from other elements. Might not be my space, but again, I'm telling you that it's intertwined. I'm not going to dive deep into that space because, as I said, it's not my space. And plus, this is not a political show. All right, but that some pride, again, it pops up and it just brings me to another place in space. So the impact on credit worthiness. Predatory lending can trap borrowers in cycles of debt, making it difficult to maintain good credit. High interest rates, hidden fees, and unfavorable loan terms can lead to missed payments. If you have them on your credit report, got to get them off. If you have them on your credit report, got to get them off. Everything is a negotiation. Everything. Defaults. Defaults can turn into summary judgments. There's a lot of things that you may already know. You might have already been subjected to it. And now it's time to get those things off your credit as well. If you're going to get better at things, then you have to negotiate them back into a favorable condition, not for the banks or for the third parties that are now coming for you. And if you don't know how to negotiate, well, again, once I say it with me. Call Tyrone. That's it. If you don't know how to do it, why would you sit around subjecting yourself to something that you don't know how to do and not go out and reach somebody who might be able to help you with it? I won't understand our people, but I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that we get out of this rut, this understanding of, well, if I can't, I'm not going to trust, whatever it may be. And I hope we find it. All right, so unfavorable loan terms can lead to missed payments, defaults, bankruptcies, damaging borrowers' credit scores, and financial stability. That credit is it's a lifeline. It's a lifeline that's been thrown out there, and it's going to constantly be out there. Once you mess it up, doesn't mean it is always going to be messed up. That's not the case. Not the case. Not the case. I don't think you should go out and hire a lawyer. Sometimes, and as I always do like to say, the lawyer's logo is what the courts or what other individuals respond to, nothing more. You as an individual, you have just as much power. And some of these lawyers, they're in on the grift as well. If you go back and read my Substack, if you haven't, I'll put it up here later so you can get a look at it. My Substack talks about grifters are us, right? They're in on the grift as well. Law of population. If we can take the overall population and say 60 to 70, 80% have to go up as high as that are in need of, and everybody else on the top echelon of that is making out off of that 60, 70, 80%. Come on. I don't need to say more. Financial stability. Financial stability is what we're talking about here. So, economic empowerment initiative, discussing with community-based initiatives and programs aimed at promoting financial literacy, credit education, and wealth building strategies tailored to African American communities. This could go for all communities, but clearly I got to talk to my people first. All right? When worst comes to worst, my peoples come first. I love that song. All right, but that is so true. It is so true. Community-based initiatives and programs aimed at promoting financial literacy, credit education, and wealth building strategies tailored at African American communities are critical for addressing systemic inequalities, empowering individuals to achieve financial stability. And here are a few key components and examples for such initiatives. All right, financial education workshops. What do you not know about that? Financial education workshops. That's all we need. Somebody who's willing to commit that time, a wanting public, because you already want it. Again, I keep saying it over and over and over. I wouldn't have been in this for 20 years if I didn't see that there was an opportunity to empower everyone who believed that they're powerless. I would not be doing this for 20. Absolutely not. I'm too smart, savvy, brilliant, wise, intelligent, handsome, Black, proud American to be doing something that I thought wasn't going to be beneficial to my people. Absolutely not. So I went the conventional route. Now I'm back visiting the unconventional route. The unconventional route seems to be quite lucrative in every sense of the word, not just for my own sake, but also for my heart, for my mind, for that soul. Because everything that I'm giving you right now, these words that are coming out of my mouth from this PowerPoint, that's God. Made it possible. And he makes it possible for all of us. And this is not a preachy show either. This is a show that gets you to understand your obstacles are your obstacles, but your success is also going to be your success. We're just going to guide you through. All right. Partnership and financial institutions. Got to find them collaborating with banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions to provide accessible banking services, low-cost financial products. And these are individuals who, please stop playing the games. Please stop playing the games, because you know what you may not know what I know, but I know what you don't think I'm supposed to know. And that's the part that doesn't anger me. It only tells me either you want to be with and work with the understanding that we're all going to prosper, or you want to continue with the shenanigans. And that's not going to work any longer. It worked for, and we said redlining was 1930. It's not going to work anymore. It's not. We went to the same schools. We went to the same universities. We've more or less worked at the same companies. We're doing the same thing. So how do you think you can keep playing the same old tricks? Well, if you dumb down society, which you've successfully done, you've taken the element that should have remained in our academia, K through 12, you took it and you took it out. All right. So you got what you wanted. You got laborers, you got workers. You also took out those skills that could have helped individuals at an early age start developing. You took all of that out. You focused on testing, which, again, I get it. I understand it. I know why. I get it and I understand it, but it can't continue. That's the part that I'm at right now. It can't continue. Right. So we have to offer these things. And if you do, you've already made out. Banks, you make out every single day. Financial institutions, you make out every single day. If I'm not mistaken, Yana had put up a slide in one of her shows. That's why I say a brilliant lady. Go back and definitely check out Access Wealth Nation. But she put out a slide that showed that, if I'm not mistaken, I think the financial services, 150 something plus $1 trillion. As I said, we're living in $1 trillion economies now. Trillions of dollars is moving. How is it that we're not capitalizing? All right, so youth financial literacy programs, implementing programs in schools and community centers to educate young people about money management, saving habits, and the importance of building credit early. Early. My students look at me sometimes and they're like, yo, you're supposed to be teaching design and draw. Design and draw. We ain't doing very much drawing, which again, not an artist in that regards, but I am giving them drawing tools and the ability to draw, because drawing is what? Lines connecting with other lines. Yeah, I learned that. Yeah, pretty smart guy. I keep telling you. And we are definitely doing a lot in the area of designing. A lot. And I can't wait till these final projects are done for the wrapping up of the school year. So I'm super excited about what they're going to be learning out of it. But if we get them at an early age, K through 12 preparation stage, K through 12 preparation, if we give it to them while they're in that higher education, whether you're doing that 2-year, 4-year, whatever a degree that you're seeking, you need to know about how that money works. It's just that simple. You need to know how your money works. You need to know what a earning statement is, how to read it, how to make sure that you're getting proper taxes taken out, how to make sure that you can invest, what have you left over. You need to know about these things early. All right, entrepreneurships support, offering resources, mentorships to training programs to support African American entrepreneurs in starting and growing their businesses. They're talking about it. Biden and Camilla are talking about it. And I hope that the young people don't think that they have no future. Young people, I'm here to tell you, do not get caught up in this BS hype about your future. Do not. Do not get caught up in the pitting one against the other, thinking that the old don't know nothing and that the young, they know it all, and that there's all this quick money out there. I'm just, you don't have to believe a word coming out of my mouth, but I'm here to tell you, trillion-dollar economies. And if you know how to get in those trillion-dollar economies nice and successfully, guess what you're going to come out? You're going to come out a millionaire. You're going to come out even rich. Saddest part about rich is that you keep thinking you're going to be wealthy. And this is why we have to educate you also equally on that verbiage as well. You're not going to be wealthy. You're not. Because wealth is a generational thing. It's passed down from one generation to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation. That's how wealth is generated. But what you will be, because we keep evolving, you will be rich. And you can be extremely rich. You just have to want it more than me, who is presenting it to you. Wanting it more than Dr. Yana B, who's on another spectrum in a whole new realm of space. And she can definitely help you with managing what I'm giving you the opportunity to start getting for yourself. My good friend Antonio Kenyatta, another one, fiduciary. If you don't know what that is, trust me. You need to know about a fiduciary, someone who's going to make sure your money makes money for you. Got a host of good people that I love to talk about all the time. And they can help with some of these again. Young entrepreneurs looking for that pathway to becoming a business owner. And I think it's important that you work for yourself. I think it's clearly important equally that you also work for others, get that experience, get that knowledge. There's nothing wrong with going out there and working for somebody. Nothing. It teaches you a lot about you. It teaches you a lot about people. It teaches you a lot about the understanding of what you're going to have to deal with if you choose to become a business owner. And I encourage everyone, young or old, get out there and do your thing. Get out there. Doesn't matter. As long as you have that financial knowledge, you're going to be able to do what you need. So we're about 15 minutes away from wrapping this up. So this is going to be a 3-day event. All right. It's going to be a 3-week event because there's a lot more and I can ad lib. And I'm going to continue to keep making my way nice progressively through this. But it's just, it's important. It's important that you get real individuals who are telling you real situations about what you yourself can do. You're going to need help. You're going to need help. COVID made it so clear that we all need emotional. We all need that mental health. We all need it. Every single last one of us. I'm one of those individuals who say I may not need it, but yeah, it's nice to be able to talk to someone. And I do. I talk to a lot of people. So that's my therapy. And my therapy is making sure that I'm able to give you what you need. And I've also, in the struggles of relationships, had a therapist, had someone that I can talk to. And it helped me realize that I didn't have a job at one point. Or excuse me, I didn't have a career. I had a job. I didn't, and I looked at that lady like, what you talking about? You don't even know me like that. How are you going to say that? But when she said it to me, it never registered because I was in denial. But about 3-4 years later, after that, I was like, look at me. I'm not even, still had her as a great therapist. Didn't have a job. I mean, didn't have a career. I was just working for somebody. That's what I was doing. But that's what I'm saying. Nothing wrong with working for somebody. Nothing. Nothing. You have to understand your role. Once I understood my role, it made perfect sense. It made everything else a lot easier. Made that transition from a laborer to somebody who wanted to do better for themselves. Now look at me. Look at me. Loving every bit of what I'm able to do. Are there going to be some stumbles along the way? Always have been. COVID was a stumble along the way. Didn't let it prevent me. Didn't let it stop me from. It gave me more opportunity to hone in on those skill sets. I can always say COVID didn't make me dumber. COVID made me smarter. And that's why I always got to push back on academia. Oh, well, COVID did this and COVID did this and COVID. You know what COVID did? COVID took 1 million plus individuals that should be here today, at least Americans. Worldwide, we know what those numbers are as well, but Americans that should be here today. COVID prevented some 4+ million kids from having their parents. That's what COVID did. But COVID should have made us all smarter. We should have taken that time to sit down and really, while we were inside our houses, then we had the what? We had the World Wide Web right at our fingertips. Some of us did the right things, like myself, and some of us did the things that we now are sitting back going, well, I'm going to blame this person, I'm going to blame that person, I'm going to blame this person, I'm going to blame that person, I'm going to blame this person. We can keep pointing fingers. The first one that you need to point them fingers to is you. Own up to yours. And I've already said it. I'm going to say the constant. I'm going to say it multiple times. 10%. Own up to your 10%. Your 10%. I'll help you understand why you should only own up to 10. I'll definitely break that one down to you. Why you should only own up to 10. 10. Because you're carrying around 90 extra pounds of garbage that you yourself think that you need to carry around. Making it clear, folks, that's what I do. All right, so we got to definitely start looking at partnerships, youth financial literacy, and in support for our entrepreneurs in the African American community. Just home ownership, counseling, providing counseling and assistance to help African Americans. There's a lot of groups out there that want to do the right thing, but I keep saying it over and over and over and over and over. It's sad that our ethical understandings of truly doing what's good does not resonate. It does not resonate amongst those who are smart. And I'm not here diminishing or telling anyone what to do and how to do their business. But if it's always about your bottom line and it's not helping our people, I have a problem. I have a huge problem, because you can make out. And the reason why you're not is because you don't know what I know about your money. And you should know a lot more about your money. And it's okay. As I said, this is not about an argument. This is not about I'm smarter or better or wiser or more, whatever. No, if you want to walk away with that, that's on you. I'm not carrying that baggage. No need to carry that baggage. I'm going to keep keeping it on that highest of levels about helping our people. Because if we all make out, guess what? We all prosper. Just that simple. If we all make out, we all prosper. I think that's maybe the trajectory we might want to be going. All right. So again, these things must include understanding mortgage options, improving credit scores, and accessing down payment assistance programs. Down payments, you can help these people. I mean, you can help us, the community. We can help us, the community. All right. Cultural relevance and sensitivity. All right. Cultural relevance and a lot of things that I didn't know about African Americans. History. And I found out a lot just in the last half a year, recognizing the historical and cultural factors that impact financial behavior within African American communities and tailoring programs accordingly. The way that I'm talking to you now, my students appreciate me because I look like them. All right. It's not the stuffy tie and the suit. That's why I call myself the dress down CEO. The CEOs, excuse me, let me take that back. The suit and tie guys got us where we are. It's going to take the tattooed, those hats wearing to the side guys to get us out of it, because we're tired of doing the same thing. The status quo, the status quo. Now, I get that you may think that that's what's that word I'm looking for? Unconventional. Oh, Donald Trump is unconventional. But Donald Trump, in my opinion, has a few screws that need to be tightened. And even if you tighten them, still not going to help. It's still not going to help. There's something that eats at that man's soul that none of us are going to be able ever to rectify with. But what I can tell you right now, if you are an African American, if you are a Hispanic, if you are an individual of color, if you are a low income individual, if you are the working poor, if you are the full-time working homeless, if you are a student, if you are someone who is a senior, if you are a woman, if you are someone whose income is less than $1 million or $2 million or even $5 million, I'm gonna go that high. You do not want that individual dictating anything about you. If you are a human being, need I say more? All right, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. As I say, I keep saying it over and over and over. Not a politics show, but it's all intertwined. It's all intertwined. All right. This may involve incorporating cultural relevant examples, language, and approaches into financial education material and outreach efforts. All right. Our Africans who come to this country, I got a young man who I see every Saturday. He is about 14 years old. He goes to Yonkers Middle High again, one of the smartest kids that I could ever say that I had the pleasure of knowing. Smart, intelligent, bright. African, comes from Africa. Those folks, I got to give them one thing. They don't play over there. They don't play when it comes to that education when they come here to the United States. And I don't think we should be playing around when it comes to our financial knowledge. All right, community financial centers. Establishing community-based financial centers and hub where individuals can access a range of financial services, receive personalized guidance, and participate in workshops and events focusing on financial empowerment. That's what I want to do. There's a beautiful building right here in Yonkers. Beautiful building right downtown. I've already said it. If I have to do it on my own, I will do it on my own. It doesn't matter what time I take to get to where I need to get to. I'm going to do what I need to do. Set that legacy. Make that legacy. Make it about financial literacy, empowering our people to make sure that they understand. We can do it. We've done it before. We can do it. We've done it before. Just that simple. Policy advocacy. Engaging in advocacy efforts to address systemic barriers to financial inclusion and wealth building, such as discriminatory lending practices, unequal access to educational opportunities, and disparities in wealth accumulation. These policies that are out there, they do what they need to do, but they're limited because they're not enforced. They're not enforced. I love the CFPB. I want to give them mad props. I know when it was started, I appreciate Elizabeth Warren. I appreciate Bernie Sanders. Appreciate all what they've done. Appreciate Congress as much as I possibly can say. I appreciate individuals who give up themselves to go and they do public service. But what I can't seem to understand is that, are you really moving the needle forward? These are ways in which you can. I'd be more than happy to be that partner in helping you out get there. But we're going to have to come together and put these things into the communities, hold people accountable so that the community is benefiting from it. Not just talk. We don't need to evaluate anything anymore. We don't need to go to whatever it is that we need to research and study and study and study. We've been studying. I've been on this planet for 57 years. Trust me, I've been studying. As you all presidential candidates always talk about, day one, day one, day one, day one. Give me the resources. Guarantee you, day one, things will be getting solved. So examples of successful initiatives include the National Urban League, all right, Financial Empowerment Center, the Banking Black Movement, which encourages African Americans to support Black-owned banks and credit unions, the Black Financial Literacy Coalition, a grassroots operation that offers workshops, seminars, local community organization partnering with financial institutions to offer low interest rate loans, credit building programs, and financial literacy workshops specifically targeted at African Americans. My business, Leverage Credit Recovery. Oh, I'm always going to promote those because this is not a competition. I keep saying, not in it to compete. I'm in it to win for all of our people. Not in it to compete. In it to win for all of our people. By implementing these types of initiatives and programs, communities can empower individuals with the knowledge, skills, and resources needed to make informed financial decisions. Informed decisions, building wealth, and achieve economic stability for themselves and future generations. As I said, wealth you are not going to get. Rich beyond your wildest imagination. And all you have to do is put in that time, put in that work. The individuals who want to help you are here. We're already helping you. Soul City gave me the space to help you. The great Dr. Yana B is doing her thing. If you do not know, I'm telling you, folks, get that information. She's got this great book out, and there's another one that she has also partnered with, and it's about women. It's about women, empowering women. Don't be a sucker. I don't have the book right here in my hand, but next week I definitely will have it right here so I can present it to you as well. All right, so the overcoming the barriers is where we're going to stop because we're about 4 minutes out. So overcoming barriers, this is going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to keep doing this until we get through this, but I encourage you to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. If you missed the last week's, go back to the last week so you can catch up. Here's where we're going to end it, and we're going to start it right here, overcoming barriers. We're going to be talking about providing accessible steps and strategies to improving credit scores and financial stability. Also, within that, there's going to be some timely bill payment understandings. I mean, really? Got to say it, right? Reducing credit card debt, diversifying credit mix, regularly checking credit reports for errors, seeking financial counseling and education. So these overcoming the barriers, wow, got a long way to go, folks. This might take some time, all right? But it's all about you. As I said, it's all about you. Got about 3 minutes left here. Do we got any questions out there? Anybody want to pose a question really quick? As I said, we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're right here on StreamYard. No? All right, so I'm going to mosey this right on along to the obviously want to thank you. What did you think about the show? Please send us some comments. We would love to hear from you. What did you think? Your opinion matters. And as always, drop us a line. We are here. We're here to help. Telephone number 805-428-9424. Again, that telephone number is 805-428-9424. Excuse me, 805-428-9424. Email is leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. And we now use called Linktree. Linktree. And you can Linktree that to Leverage Credit Recovery. That's Linktree. Our website is under construction because it's time to put things in a different perspective, a different light. The summer's coming. New season is about to hit upon us. So we're going to make sure that our audience has what they need. I want to thank you for making the time. I always appreciate every single one of you who either view it now or who come back later at a later time frame and look at our YouTube. This is Soul City Network. My name is Tyrone Glover. I'm the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope to see you next week so that we can follow up where we left off. America, be safe.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are are here.